everyone, and welcome to the Pink Desk, where we discuss all things teacher related. Today, we're discussing our takeaways from teaching for diverse and equitable classrooms in Ontario. We're your host. I'm Jessica Levy.
And I'm Krystal Barkadarian. Let's get started.
So, Crystal, we learned so much in such a short time. So, I wanted to ask you how have the key learnings in this course content and the conversations informed your understanding about teaching, learning, learners, instruction, programming, and assessment as it relates to equity, diversity, and inclusion.
Well, that's a great question, Jessica. As we know, equity in education is when all students have equal chances to success and all learners feel comfortable by creating brave spaces. So I took away the importance of getting to know your learners and to not make assumptions about them. It's so important that we get to know our learners beyond knowing their likes and dislikes and the type of learners they are. We need to get to know our learners from the tip of the iceberg to the bottom of whatever lies beneath the surface.
That is so true. I remember enjoying my classes and teachers more when they really put an effort to get to know us beyond the obvious.
Same. I know that sometimes it can be difficult to have certain types of conversations, but it's so important to engage in courageous conversations so that the classroom is based on honesty, open mindedness, and understanding of one another. We have such a major impact on students' lives and their futures. From a young age, we are often the ones there to guide them through life and its choices, and they may very well come across the time where they need to have these difficult types of conversations. So for me, it is so crucial that we teach our students how to engage in these conversations in an open-minded and polite manner from early on.
I agree, and that's a great way of looking at it, Crystal. We are in charge of the leaders of the future.
Now I'll ask you, what will you start, stop, or continue to do both personally and in your planning, programming, and understanding about issues of diversity and equity as it relates to the classroom and school communities?
I will continue to learn more about diversity and equity. With doing so, I will continue my learning to best ensure that my students have the most accurate and up to date knowledge, understanding, and information about these hard issues and hard topics. Having said that, I will definitely also take advantage of the amazing resources that I have available to me, such as bringing in guest speakers like Susan and Pamela to teach on subjects where I have little knowledge of. I think they did a fantastic job of providing rich information on the challenging and championing LGBTQ plus issues and Indigenous perspectives. I know I learned so much from them, and I'm sure my students would have similar experiences. Don't you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
I also think that it's important to debunk common myths about things such as class, race, and gender, and to do so by having open, honest class discussions, just as you mentioned before. To do this, I feel as though it is important to partake in empathetic listening to with my students and to my students. This means not only do we focus on listening to the words being said, but we also listen with our eyes, ears, mind, and heart. In order to really understand my students and help them understand issues of diversity and equity, we really need to take these steps to make sure they are fully listening and understanding. I'm able to use my students as resources to ensure that I'm teaching them correctly and fairly.
I 100% agree. We really need to ensure we listen to our students to make sure that they listen to us. Using students as resources is also such a wonderful idea.
Okay, Crystal, I think it's so important that we look into the future and think about what questions, wonderings, and what our future goals are. Do you have any that you want to share?
Definitely. In general, my goal is to carry everything we learned in Charmaine's class to my own classroom, and I think I have the tools to do so. Something I wish to learn more about is how to best interrupt microaggressions. We touched on this in class 6, but to be honest, I'm a tad nervous about coming off as aggressive or insensitive when actually having to do this in my class. What about you?
You're right. I agree. Sometimes it's hard to have these conversations without coming off as aggressive or insensitive. And I feel as though this is something that I want to work on as well. I plan to carry out all of that we learned from Charmaine's class, not only in my teachings, but in my everyday life. Something that I wish to develop a further understanding of and learning of is anti Black racism in education, which was taught in class 5. I feel as though I need more education on how to teach about race to students beyond reading them the books and to beyond reading books to them. I feel as though it's such a difficult subject to teach upon, as unfortunately everyone has different understandings, ideas, and views on race. And that relationship that I may work so hard to build up upon in the classroom and the school community may sadly be broken down by parents and family members who have different understandings.
Overall, I would say these short 6 weeks taught me so much. I really enjoyed all the lessons and I look forward to implementing them.
Me too. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for tuning into the Pink Desk. Bye.
Bye.